Alright, so I am back to do another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about what happens after discard and what makes a narcissist discard you to begin with. Okay, does something happen? Is there some kind of realization that occurs? Do they suddenly just not like you anymore? What happens, right? Like, why does this happen, right? Why do they discard you? I'm going to get into why they discard you. I'm going to talk about a lot of reasons why this happens, okay? It's pretty intricate. It's a pretty intricate thing. In my opinion, with the narcissists that I've known, okay? Usually you are discarded a lot of times because they found a new source, a better source of supply. Now, when I've reconnected with my ex-narcissist, there was only 2 times, and it was very, very short periods. I was never the main source of supply. The first time we reconnected, it wasn't even, definitely I wasn't even going to, there was no chance for me to reconcile with him after I learned what he was doing, what happened after we broke up. So that wasn't even a possibility. But we were in touch. We were talking. We were still kind of in touch. The second time, it wasn't a romantic thing at all, in fact, but I was still discarded. The main reason is because they have to kind of make way for new supply. They have to kind of make way to be able to communicate and engage with somebody new. Now, this can be a new source of supply completely, someone they had just met, or an old source of supply that they're bringing back. Okay, so it could be the source they just had. It could be 2 sources ago. It could be someone from their really, really recent, really, really, really distant past, or it could be someone completely new that they just found. But usually the reason why is because they found a new source of supply. And when I say like new, yes, a new source, someone that they've never dated before, but they found somebody easier to manipulate, someone easier to get what they need out of that person. Okay, a lot of times narcissists will prey on, I'm not going to say this to be mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's true. They prey on a lot of, like, they don't prey on the most, people that got it going on. They seem to they seem to prey on people who maybe are coming out of something. Someone who needs them for something, whether it's they need to move in with them because they have nowhere to live. This is the kind of people they get with, all right? Let me just tell you. Yeah, they might need them for housing. They might need them for, a roof over their head. They might need them for something like that. Or it could be just someone who maybe isn't the best looking, maybe a homely person who doesn't get a lot of looks, or someone who's just, maybe not the best, most attractive person in the world. Yes, they get with people like that because it's an easy target for them. So someone who needs them, who needs them for something, whether it's a car, a ride to work, a roof over their head, that's the kind of people that narcissists love to get with because they're easy targets. That's easy supply for them. They don't have to really do much to maintain that supply. It's just there, okay? Because it's like you wash my back, I'll wash your back kind of thing, really. I mean, that's really the way it is with these people, okay? So a lot of times, like, the narcissist knows that you are no longer an easy supply. Like, I'm not an easy supply. Like, I'm definitely not easy. I was never easy with mine. But for me, I require certain things. Like, I require truth, honesty, loyalty. I have certain standards that are pretty high standards. If you want to be with me, you have to be a certain type of person, all right? I'm talking about morally, your character, your standards, your values. Everything has to be in good standing for me to want to be with you. The narcissist knows that he screwed up so bad that to get with me, it would take too much work. It would take too much work to get me. He can't get me because I'm too much work. I require too much that he can't live up to. So a lot of times they'll discard you They'll put you down. First, before a discard, they always are going to insult you. They're always going to throw some insults your way, okay? Because they have to, this is what they do. This is what they do. They insult you because in their minds, they have to believe that you are less than. That you are less than, that you're not good enough, all right? That you're not good enough, and that the new supply is in some way more better than you are. This is what they do, and this is in their fantasy world. Now, narcissists live in this fantasy world, okay, where they don't see people as they really are, all right? They kind of see people in this fantasy, and if you are the kind of person that can kind of live up to that fantasy, all right, they're all happy with that. And like I said, I've said this before in other videos, narcissists will date people that might not be the best looking, but maybe they have a good job. Someone who maybe isn't, the greatest looking, but they fit that fantasy, okay, with something else that they do. Maybe it's a good job. And they kind of see this person and they idolize this person, not for who they really are. It's for the fantasy that they kind of live in their own heads into this fantasy world. So even when I was with my narcissist, I'm sure he didn't really see me for who I really was. He saw me for this other type of person who really I wasn't, But I was able to maintain a certain, I guess I was able to maintain the certain kind of way about myself that he was able to work with me in some kind of fantasy. Who the hell knows? I don't know at all. Really, I can't even think about it. But that's really the way. It's very hard to describe this too. It's very, very weird. And unless you're a narcissist, it is very difficult to describe this fantasy world that they're in. But that's what they do. They'll kind of look at you and they'll kind of see if you can play a role in this fantasy. And if you do, and if you can, the narcissist will idolize you based on the fantasy, not based on reality and who you really are. Okay, this is really the truth on how they are, these people. So that's why a lot of times you'll see narcissists with people and it doesn't really add up. You're like, well, he was with people, like, what's going on? Like, why is he choosing all these, like, lower, maybe not the best looking people now all of a sudden? It's because they offer something different. They offer this fantasy that the narcissist is into. And remember, narcissists, they kind of like, they're with people for different reasons, and they trade off different people as well, like a car. So they'll have this car for a while, like maybe they'll have a Corvette for a little while. They'll drive that for 5 years, and then they kind of get sick of the Corvette and they want maybe a Porsche or maybe an SUV or, maybe a station wagon or something. They want something a little bit different than what they had, okay? So they'll go over to something less than because they're moody. Narcissists are very moody. They're not consistent. They are consistent for a little while as long as you play that part for them in that fantasy. But once you're not in that fantasy anymore and you start to more so be yourself, and, you're like, look, I'm not that person that you're looking for. Like, I'm not that. They will start to devalue you. And then they will ultimately discard you. But as I said before, narcissists aren't with people for the same reasons that we are. They don't get to know you for your attributes and for your, the things that you really are, your personality, the things that you love, the things that make you you, everything that you're made up of, all your craziness and your wackiness and your quirkiness. They're not like that. They're very shallow, on the surface type people. They're very, very, very shallow. So they're not deep people. These are not people that you're going to have any kind of deep connection with, okay? So oftentimes when you're discarded, it's because they have found, or they're going to try, maybe they haven't, maybe they think they found somebody who's going to be an easier target for them to get what they need, to get that narcissistic supply from them. And that's mainly why you're discarded oftentimes. The second reason why you could be discarded is if you ask them to be accountable for a wrongdoing or a problem that you guys might have had in the past, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to admit to anything, and you're trying to put them on the spot to answer, and they don't want to answer you, they will discard you because of that as well. Because they don't want to admit fault, accept that they did something bad, and they'll basically just run away after that because they don't want to take any responsibility for any of the wrongdoings that they've done. They can't. They're not able to do that. It would shatter their ego too much. So they just leave the situation completely and they'll discard you. But always, always, before a discard will come some sort of insult, some sort of put down, because they have to make you less than. They have to make you a lower quality person. Like, oh, you don't do this. Like with mine, he says, oh, I don't, my career, whatever, I don't have a career, whatever. He doesn't like that I don't have a career. So he has to pull something out of the air to make it seem like I'm less because I don't have that. To him, that's important. My boyfriend now could give a shit what I do. He can care less if I ever worked in my life. He don't care about that. Real men don't care about bullshit like that, okay? But he doesn't really have anything on me, so he has to pick out something like that he doesn't even know anything about as to why I don't have a career, why I don't do certain things. He has no clue. So always, before they discard you, they're going to pull some sort of insult out of the air. And as I said, they do this because they have to make you less. They can't be idolizing two people at the same time. They can't do that. All right. So if they just met someone, all right, they are idolizing that person right now. That person becomes their entire world. That person becomes everything to them. They're going to get married. Everyone's like, oh, when's the wedding? When you guys going to get married? This is what it's like with every single person they date, okay? This is really, it's the God's honest truth. I'm telling you the fucking truth about this, all right? Every single person that they date, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. So they have to idolize. They can't be idolizing you anymore, okay? They have to make you less than. They have to make you a lower quality person so they can leave you, so they can stop talking to you and go on to the next person that they have to idolize or if they want to idolize, all right? This person might be homely. This person might not even be on your level, okay? Not at all. But this person is an easier target for them to get what they want. Maybe they're coming out of something. Maybe they're at a low point in their life for whatever reason. And the narcissist knows that this person's going to be very easy to get. Like I said, they like the fruit that's very low on the tree, that they don't have to really reach and put a lot of effort into it and do a lot to really get it and keep it. They like the fruit that's very low, very, very low. They just pick it off the thing and eat it, right? They don't want the ones that they have to really reach really high for and get a ladder and do all this work. They don't want that. They want the low-hanging fruit. So that's really my best kind of description of when you're discarded, what's actually happening behind the scenes, all right? They don't go to somebody better than you, all right? They go to someone easier, someone who is easier to get, easier to maintain. But sometimes it is because they fit a certain fantasy that they're into at that specific moment in their life, all right? So if that person can get into a fantasy for them to make the narcissist feel important and wonderful and exuberated, like, okay, I'm dating a CEO of a company. Well, to me, that wouldn't make me feel good or bad. Like, I would be happy that the guy's a CEO for what he likes to do in his life, is for he likes his career. But that has nothing to do with me. Who I date and what the person does for a living was never really important to me. I've dated people in the medical field. I've dated an attorney. I've dated, accountants. It doesn't matter to me. I go by what the person's heart. I don't go by the outside. But narcissists are the opposite of that. Okay, because it's all about their ego, and it's all about how that person makes them look. It's how do they look on the outside. It's all about the surface for a narcissist, all right? They're very shallow people. It's like women who date doctors or lawyers. It's like that makes them feel good because they're dating a doctor or a lawyer. And it makes them feel like, well, I'm important, that I could, date someone has this major responsibility and is so intelligent and so smart, it makes them feel really good. It's really weird to describe this. It's kind of hard, but that's what they're like. So usually, I'm going to say most of the time, when you're discarded, it's because they had found another source of supply that is an easier and better target for them to extract the thing that they want. And oftentimes, it's whatever it is that fantasy is in their mind, that you are no longer giving them that fantasy, okay? Because like I said, they have to make you less than. They can't idolize two people at the same time, all right? If they're idolizing Sherry, okay, they're not going to be idolizing Mary at the same time as Sherry. They're going to be idolizing one or the other, okay? The narcissist cannot have two people that they're idolizing at the same time. It would cause too much chaos for them, and they couldn't handle it. So they have to put one down and make that supply lesser quality so they can discard it. They can get rid of it, and they can focus on that new supply. And as I said, oftentimes, I would say a lot of the times, it's a lower quality person, but it's just that they're an easier target to get what they want out of them. They're easier to manipulate. Remember, this person is new to them, or this person just is able to put up with more of their bullshit than you are, or this person doesn't know their MO yet. They're still kind of blinded by the fact that they're, dysfunctional people and they just don't care and they just, continue to be with them. But that's usually the reasons why you're discarded. And that's usually what happens with a discard with a narcissist, okay? It's very, very difficult to explain. I understand it from my own experience with them, but in order to, explain it to other people, it's kind of hard. It's really hard. There are books on this, and there are lots of books where you can read about this stuff. But that's the way I understand. This is what I've dealt with in my life. This is my experience as well, guys. I've experienced this for myself. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the discard. But, yeah, that's usually the way it is with them. What else can I say about this? And another thing I want to add to this is that when you are discarded for this new thing that they think they found, they're able to detach from you as if you never existed, as if you were never even with them. It's almost as if you never even dated them. They literally will forget about you, literally overnight. I'm being fucking serious. Excuse my language. I don't mean to be swearing on YouTube. You just find this girl is is like a truck driver. Don't mean to be. It's just when I talk about narcissists, it brings out kind of like my talk where it's very passionate and it's wrong, but it's the truth. I don't mean to be swearing. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not gonna lie. I do swear sometimes. Sometimes I do swear. When I'm talking about narcissists and things like that, I do. Or any kind of passionate thing, any kind of injustice in the world. I do swear a lot about stuff like that. I can't help it. But, yeah, so the narcissist detaches from you. When you're discarded, it's as if you are not even alive. That's the way it is with them. They won't answer your email. They won't answer your text message. If you call them, they won't answer the phone. It's as if you never existed. I'm telling you the truth. That's what it's like with a true narcissist, a true covert narcissist. This is what they do. All right? They detach from you without batting an eye, without any problem whatsoever. All right? You have to understand this is the way they are. All right? This is why it's so important to take your time with relationships to really know the kind of person that you're dating, all right? You really have to take your time and get to know people. Don't rush into anything. If you feel like you could be dating a narcissist or they have qualities of a narcissist, you gotta take it slow and really find out, because this is the kind of things that they do to you, all right? And it's very hurtful when they do this. Very, very hurtful. But they will, basically throw you in the trash like a McDonald's drive-through bag that you gulf down a double cheeseburger and fries, and you just toss the bag, out the window, well, that's what it's like. Like, you're that McDonald's, like, drive-through bag. They basically take you and throw you out into the garbage, and it's as if you never existed, right? Like, you never were even with them. That is the way it is with a narcissist, all right? When you are discarded. When they're on to that new supply source, it is all about the idolization of this new supply. And it doesn't matter what they look like. I've told you, it could be pretty gross what these people are, even what they look like, everything. It's not about looks. It's not about looks. This is what people have to understand, all right? A lot of people that are normal like me, like I have a friend who, we're very good friends. I never dated him. He lives far away. But we're very, very good friends. And him too. Like, he's just like, he dated a woman narcissist. And he's just like, I can't believe, like, what does she see in him? Like, oh my God. It's like, it's not about looks. It's not about what you look like. Like, he's very handsome. He was a really cute guy. And he was a lot better looking than the girlfriend's new boyfriend. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I told him, it's not about the looks. It's not about that. It's about the supply. It's about their needs. That's all it's about. It's about how they make them feel for whatever reason. And it could be something really small and weird. But that's what the narcissist is like. And people have to understand this. A lot of people are very confused about that. A lot of people think, well, they have nothing going for them. Like, what is it that's going for them? Like, they're kind of frumpy and kind of plain looking, and they don't even have a good body. There's nothing very attractive. It doesn't matter. It's about the supply for the narcissist. It's not about the fact that they're cute or anything like that. That's what I had to realize too, because I used to be the same way. I'm like, what can they possibly see in something like that? And it's not about that. It's not about someone's looks. It's about the supply for that narcissist. So, yeah, guys, it's crazy. It's crazy shit. But this is the dynamics, okay, of a narcissist. This is what I've been trying to, tell people. That it's very, very important that you know what you're dealing with before you know it. Now, I'm lucky because, I know what I'm doing, and, I don't let it bother me too much. I mean, the times I've reconnected with my narcissist, yeah, it was hurtful, but nowhere near when I broke up 10 years ago. Nothing like that. Yeah, it's more annoying than I would say hurtful. It's more of an irritation that you can keep giving the narcissist time and time again chances and chances and chances to fess up, chances to be a good person, and they're never ever going to take it. It's a lost cause, all right? It doesn't matter how much you try. And I went there both times, well, the second time definitely, knowing that it probably most likely wasn't going to be the greatest thing. I kind of knew that already, but I was kind of surprised that it turned out as good as it did, because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. I hadn't talked to him for 5 years. He gave me the silent treatment for 5 years. When I finally did see him, it was as if nothing really happened between us. It was very much similar to the way it always was between us. But a whole lifetime has happened between 10 years ago and now, and unforgivable acts have been done as well. And the narcissist knows this. The narcissist knows that, when you're reconnecting with them, or if they're trying to hoover you back, they know that the chances of you giving in to them is very small. They already know this. Trust me, the narcissist knows the damage they've done. They know the carnage that they've left behind, all right? They know this. They're not going into this with really high hopes either, all right? They know that they fucked up. They know that what they've done is unforgivable and really disgusting and bad, but they still kind of try a little bit, especially if they don't have another source. If there's nobody else that they're interested in, there's no good sources around, they will try to recycle old sources for the time being, for a temporary thing. Like mine did that with me. For a short time we were in touch. And then, like I said, I asked him to answer a question that he didn't like, and all hell broke loose, and he flipped out and insulted me, the discard, and everything happened. But they will do this. They will go back in time, very, very far back in time, if there's known that that is really interesting to them, if they need supply. They could try again. Trust me, they will. Especially, like with me, I'm very happy now. I'm in a really good place in life. I'm in a very good relationship. And I'm happy. And it shows. When you're happy, it shows that you're happy. Like, you can tell when someone's happy and someone's kind of not happy. You can kind of tell. But, with mine, I've had to put my foot down and say, you know what, like, I can't go on like this. This isn't right. Like, I can't keep trying to mend a relationship that's not mendable. It's not fixable anymore. Too much time has passed. He's done some really rotten things, a lot of rotten things, over and over and over again. And there comes a point when someone has outdone themselves with that, and he has with me. And I've told him the last time that he did that, I said, that's it. Like, there's not going to be any next time. So when you're looking through your catalog of of people to try to recycle, I'm not going to be there. So, but anyway, guys, this is what it's like when you're discarded. These are the things, and these are the reasons why, what happens when you're being discarded after the discard. This is what's happening behind the scenes. So that's it for this video. And everybody, like I said in my other video, please, wait a minute. I'm going to talk a little bit more. I wanted to just do a really quick one about my last video that I did, a story time. I wanted everybody to know that the video that I did with the story time with the stalker at my job or whatever, the guy who called me and said he was watching me, that was in the early 2000s that happened. That happened in like 2001, 2002, maybe 2000. It was a long time ago. I didn't put the year that happened. When I do these videos, I forget a lot, and I'm rushing through a lot too because I don't want to upload to be so long. But no, that was probably 2000, 2001 that happened. And it was in the summertime, I remember, because it was a beautiful night, and it was like, I used to leave work around 6 o'clock, and it was still very light out and everything, and yeah, that's with that one. And so I just wanted to add that to what year that was and when that happened. I was still I was probably in my late 20s. Yeah, late 20s in 2000, maybe 28, 29 years old when that happened to me. And I never knew if it was just some weird guy that I found that saw me at work or someone who just saw me on the street. I worked in a residential area, but, you go out for lunch. You go to the bagel shop in the morning for breakfast. You see people in their cars looking at you. I mean, I know I do. I get approached a lot of times by guys that way. Waiting online at the bagel shop is a big place where I would always meet people. Could have been someone like that followed me because I worked right down the street from this bagel shop. I used to go there every morning for coffee and bagels. It's possible it was somebody from there because the bagel shop was literally not even a block away from where I worked. Could have been something like that, But you pick up people like that, especially, in my late 20s, I was definitely considered cute, yes. And this is what happens to girls. So you have to be very careful. But yes, it definitely was freaky when it happened. And it stayed with me for a long time, too. It definitely gave me like this kind of like suspicion, and it's hard for me to trust. But I'm all better now. It doesn't bother me anymore. But back then it did. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. And I'll be back with more videos to come.